Beautiful day out. Wind's not as strong as it was yesterday, but you can see these boats do not care.
This is the race committee. The wind sampling period is complete, and this race is live.
Another stunning day off the coast of Barcelona. Stephen McIver, two-time Olympic gold medalist Shirley Robertson, three-time America's Cup winner Glenn Ashby, and on the water Peter Lester now Chase 00 emissions boat. So it'll be port entry for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 2 minutes and 10 seconds. Here we go, mate.
Yeah, both teams looking really nice here for a solid pre-start entry. So in about 15 seconds we'll see Alinghi Red Bull Racing hopefully entering really nicely on time, followed by American Magic at 2 minutes.
Big match this. They both had a solid day yesterday and will be wanting to check each other out.
So they've had their challenges, Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Do they make it in on time in 2 minutes and 10 seconds? A little bit late, but the dance will begin shortly. We're waiting 6-5, counting for American Magic to come in. They too will come in a little bit late, but the dance begins.
Port down here in 2, 1, port down. East turning. East. Okay. Happy to do a bit of the board across here and just take a little bit of high. Just assess. Okay, he turns back now.
Alinghi opting for a circle there straight away to actually be pushing American Magic across the other side. So American Magic extending time on distance from them from here, and they'll be looking to lead on the way back ideally.
Okay, ratio 2.9. Happy to start bearing away.
All about the time and distance here. When you lead back, when you decide to pull the trigger and go.
Hey, he's staying behind. We're just gonna hold it down here.
Hey, well above the starboard lane.
Yeah, copy, got that. 30 boats. Pin standard.
25. 24.
Snaking up a little.
23. 20.
Aim is tight to lure,
So American Magic there extending away downwind. They're pretty much going to want to basically try and lock Alinghi Red Bull Racing into windward there and not let them get behind. So Alinghi Red Bull Racing need to make sure that they can actually get clear there and not get locked out above the start line.
Inside the last 30 seconds to start for race 5 of this Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta. Not too much toing and froing at the moment.
I've got a strong position here for American Magic off this start.
Racing. Holding up slightly.
Straight run to the line for both these AC75s. We're underway on day 2. Race 5, the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta.
Yeah, Shirley, really tough for Alinghi Red Bull Racing to hang there. They're going to have to tack out fairly shortly or they're going to get paid a big penalty.
A bit of mistiming for them. I felt they went for the push, but they went too late. And, well, Tom Slingsby and American Magic could just completely do his own thing and get such a perfect start.
Let's go on to the water, Chase 0, Peter Lester. What did you make of the start, Pete?
Yeah, strong start by American Magic. Time on distance was perfect. Alinghi were always going to be pushing hard to get to the line. They forced the peel away early. So initial advantage to American Magic off the line.
Whatever. A length and a half, 2 lengths. Happy just half notch past the target, not past.
Really interesting that American Magic decided not to hit Alinghi there, so they must see something out to the right-hand side of the course, more breeze, because match racing normally you would have landed straight on there.
We have generally seen the right-hand side, particularly at the bottom part of that course, really be quite favoured.
20 seconds, so almost just before boundary.
20 seconds.
Feeling to slowly ahead. Happy to recover you. Okay, stand by.
I need.
And in 3, 2, 1. And turning. He comes back. Hang we're heading this way. Yep. 25 to intersection. My button.
Has the distance look good?
Really good lead. Okay.
By TikTok, we're gonna have to wheel up and see.
Look down in 3, 2, 1. Go forward.
And turning.
Squadron.
This is the race committee. We are moving the leeward gate. Course length is now 1.75 nautical miles.
Again in front.
Yeah.
Just marginally if we make that turn.
Even top gates, I'm happy to go for a boundary tack and see if we're
copy.
hitting it out.
It was so nice to hear the dialogue between the helmsman there, Tom Slingsby, and Paul Goodison. They really want that right-hand side, aren't they? Fighting hard for it, in preference really to defending with Alinghi.
Must have been a real team plan to protect the right there, because they're really working that right-hand side of the course hard.
Much lighter on the right, on the left at the top.
Nice gains here.
Just having a look at the wind field coming up fairly shortly here at what's actually happening on the course. And you can see Alinghi Red Bull Racing there over the left-hand side of the course there. Nice pressure coming down from the top right for American Magic, so they'll take a further gain as they get into the top gate.
How far are the tack? Yeah, it's going to be 10 seconds the other way, a bit less. And then a bear away, guys, so right.
American Magic comfortably will take the top gate for the first leg of this 6, and they'll then head downwind. Just look at the way the speeds are turned. They'll take the right-hand gate, or the left-hand gate as you see it, right-hand to them, heading back towards that pressure.
Push all the way down.
Smoothly go around. They had memories yesterday of maybe a bad rounding, but they are slick, and they're followed around by Alinghi Red Bull Racing. This is always the fascinating thing. Watch the speeds increase downwind. 12 seconds to deficit.
Just want to always keep him to the other side of it.
Then go before the lane.
Okay, we have 10 seconds.
And entering the zone. Probably have your max entry. 2, 1, down.
Hey, Yacht inside.
At the moment, it's we could probably make one and then left.
Having a look at the wind field here, overlaid of what's actually on the course there, and you can see both boats sailing into better pressure there. American Magic probably getting the best transition through this pressure, so we should see them with a slightly higher boat speed as they sail through this pressure.
10 knots of wind over 40 knots of boat speed.
Coming into open course.
Still impressive.
Every time you say that, you just shake your head, don't you?
Nice lefty here. There he goes, board down, stand by. Board down here in 3, 2, 1, board down. In turn.
So a strong margin by American Magic. Let's go on to the wall with Chase 0. Consistent sort of race right now, Pete.
Yeah, it's pretty even. American Magic are flying a little bit lower to the water, so they're getting a nice end plate effect from the hull to the water, especially forward of the mast. And their manoeuvres are small. I've got them extending a little bit. Point to just note, you know, they're doing a boat length every second at the moment at 40 knots. That's just how quickly they gobble up leg 2.
In many ways, we get into these boats, a bit like Cookie Monster who wants cookies. He just gobble up that speed, just throw it out the back.
So interesting listening to the dialogue between Tom Slingsby and Paul Goodison. You know, they were rivals in the Olympic world for such a long time, and I know it's been hard for them to really work on that communications. It's what you say, the language you use, how you say it. It's so crucial, isn't it? They're like two pilots in an aircraft.
Copy. Hasn't looked better this side though, so don't go too long.
Yeah, no, I don't think so. If he splits, but we wait for him to tack. If
Yeah,
not,
copy.
and then we'll do the same as we did at Brits yesterday. We'll just split across.
Roger.
Okay, so it's going to be a 2-board turn up here. Hang board down here in 2, 1, board down. And turn again.
American Magic round the bottom mark for the first time. You heard Tom Slingsby say quite clearly, 2 boards down and away they go. Nice and sweet and safe. Followed around once again by Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Both these teams racing cleanly, and I know Glenn Ashby would love to say it, sailing efficiently.
Both teams doing a really nice job of sailing the boats well here. Almost the easiest conditions to sail these boats in at the moment, so there's absolutely no excuses for wobbles in these conditions. Both boats sailing with a J2 jib, which is the second biggest jib, slightly lighter breeze at the moment, around that sort of 9 to 11 knot mark, so they're needing a bit more sail area to get the boats to maximum performance.
Let's go on the American Magic chase boat and talk to Coach Tom Burnham. Thanks for joining us once again, Coach. Looks nice and tidy today.
Yeah, it does. Actually, Glenn made a really good point there about how this is about as good as it gets. 12 knots in flat water. It doesn't get much better than any boat, but an AC-75 especially.
Yeah, Tom, the guys are sailing the boat really, really nicely here. I mean, this is absolutely as good as it gets, as you said. What mainsail have you guys got up today? You're running your big one in these conditions?
Yeah, it's a little bit of the larger size mainsail for the expected conditions today, and then as you said, running a J2 and perfect spot for it. It's great.
No, well done. Sails look great, mate. Nice work.
Tom,
Thanks,
we're enjoying listening to the onboard audio. I mean, a great comms between the two helmsmen. How important is that, and how big a deal has it been to get these two guys working so well together?
Yeah, it's huge, Shirley. As you say, it's the comms between the guys are crucial for them to work together as a group, but it also helps keep the cyclers informed of what's going on, so the whole team is all on the same page. So it's really crucial, and they're really doing a great job of it. We've been working on it really hard.
Appreciate the time, Coach. Get back into it.
All right, thanks, guys. Talk to you later.
Hey, stand by. Down in 3, 2.
What about the pace, Glenn? Do you think we can tell anything from this race about the relatives?
Yeah, it's quite an interesting one, actually. I mean, it's really the first time these two teams have really lined up against each other, and they'll be absolutely gauging everything, off each other. And just that little advantage that American Magic had off the start, they sort of have capitalised on that little gain to the right-hand side of the course, and really not allowing Alinghi Red Bull Racing much breathing space to really sort of sail their own race. They're dictating them quite fiercely.
So wind speed differences all over the course, and if you are ahead, you pick your own way, don't you? It's like skiing down the moguls. You pick your way through it, and if you're behind, less choice about where you go. So hard to really know if it's breeze related or if it's actual boat speed.
And bottom.
Nice righty coming down. Mike's favor.
Smart to move it, otherwise we're going to do 2x stack.
A little bit, because we might be sailing back into the right as we get back to the box.
Put it to on right.
Live patch here for the tack. Okay, stand by. We're down here in 3.
American Magic doing by the numbers. When we say doing it by the numbers, everything is done by the numbers. Moves, tacks, jives, everything done by the numbers. It's a choreographed dance, isn't it, to the nth degree.
Nice work, guys. We've got 20 seconds this way before a right-hand turn. We've got a nice lead over them. Halfway through.
Confidence building. You sense that when you hear them, doesn't it, with the American team?
Quite a big left here.
Alvin Trim of American Magic as they go down and will take the top mark in a comfortable lead at the moment against the Alinghi Red Bull Racing. And we're at the halfway mark of race 5 in the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta here off the coast of Barcelona. Another glorious day in the Catalan capital.
Push, boys.
doesn't appear too much at this particular point in time that Alinghi Red Bull Racing can do about American Magic, but pretty much follow them around the racetrack.
You clear in 3, 2, 1, clear.
And that deficit now has popped out to 31 seconds.
Yeah, the trailing boat in these conditions, having to sail through the bubble of dirty air every tack on the upwind. Even though they're not getting hit, they're having to sail through the turbulent air off the boat in front every time they tack, going upwind and downwind in actual fact. So
I would say
a little loss of power, a little loss of efficiency in these conditions when the rigs are bending the air a lot, and that makes a big difference.
In layman's terms, for people that don't truly understand the turbulent air talk about sailing, when you say turbulent air coming off the front boat, how do you explain that simply?
Yeah, I'll get to that in a second, but just having a quick look at the ghost boat shots here, Stephen, you know, there's really not a whole lot that Alinghi Red Bull Racing can do here at the moment with the breeze on the course. The ghost boat's saying, you know, they've just got to stay in touch with American Magic. They can't jibe away for anything special, so they just need to keep sailing the boat well. But having a look at the rig here, you can imagine the air going around those sails, and that is using energy. That's what's sucking the boat forward. That exhausted air, if you like, off the back of the rig is very, very turbulent and very dirty. It's very, very unclean for the boat behind. So that trails out the back, and the opponent will sail through that turbulent air. It's a bit like an aircraft taking off. You have to give a couple of minutes for the runway to clear. It's exactly what's happening here. They're sailing through the dirty air of the plane in front of them.
So stay away from it, you get blown off course.
Correct.
What do we got? We got 20 this way. I think you'll probably jibe here pretty soon. Yeah, happy to go to lane line from here, 15.
Generally on this downwind leg, American Magic just a bit faster, at least a knot, sometimes more than Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Stand by.
There's a great shot of the layout of the helm and trim on American Magic side by side, completely different to all the other teams.
If you're wondering where their side floors are, you can see just the top of their head. They're on recumbent bikes. They're facing backwards. And recumbent bikes, really, so they're nice and low down. So the freeboard of the hull can be smaller than the other teams.
Just confirming 2 boards.
American Magic steaming into the bottom mark for the second time. Look at that speed, 44, 40, close to 45 knots coming into that. Just think about it. You've got to get round that bottom mark doing that. But like hitting the brakes with both boards down, and away they go, clean as a whistle.
He looks like he's sent up followers this way.
Let's go on board the chase boat for Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Petro Sabello, thanks for joining us. Tough day out, but it's a clean race for Alinghi Red Bull Racing at this point as you get ready to round that bottom mark.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, in this condition, we know it's like a kind of a racetrack. The start is super important to get in front in the first cross. American Magic did a great job on being in front and the huge slingshot after the start. For us, the doors are not really open in these conditions, so it's just a matter of trying to stay as close as possible and wait for a possible mistake.
The start, Sabello, is so important, isn't it? Particularly when the conditions are like this. Where do you think the error was? What happened?
You know, I think American Magic did a good job on just reducing the gauge between the boats and having a good acceleration. For us, by trying to accelerate more, we had to come down and be too close to them. So I think was that just the difference, and after we had to deck out, they had for sure a better deck and they could control after the first cross. Yeah, it's okay. I mean, the team is working really hard every day, a huge effort to improve. We keep going and do the same for tomorrow.
Thanks for your thoughts, Petro. I'll let you get back to it.
Thanks.
Petro Sabello, one of the coaches, and every team has a coach just trying to push these teams to the limit to get optimum performance, and that's something that's happened over the last couple of days. Let's not forget about the cyclors.
let's talk about the drivers on Alinghi Red Bull Racing. We just saw a lovely shot of Max Bachelin. He's only 26. He was a 49er sailor. He's a paramedic. He'd kind of given up on sailing, and then this opportunity came along. And I have actually sailed with him myself. I mean, phenomenal talent. You know instantly. He just had a great feel for the boat.
Are you getting header? Yes, back.
These guys, so you can see the circulating air there inside the cockpit on their shirts. You know, they're travelling at huge speed going upwind here in these really light air conditions, and mixture of sunglasses and goggles. Goggles not necessarily needed on a beautiful day such as today, but certainly some eye protection is recommended.
It is by and large a young team, though, Glenn, isn't it? I mean, they've had a lot to learn in a short period of time.
They certainly have, and you know, that depth of experience that really is right the way through Alinghi Red Bull Racing. You know, there's a lot of people behind the scenes that can point them in the right direction, and you know, as a group, they've done a wonderful job to get to where they have. They're going to be a powerful force moving forwards.
Forward down here in 3, 2, 1. Forward down.
You see the wind field here. Shirley, it's you know, up and down. Those sort of different colours basically representing around sort of 2 to 4 knots of pressure. The green, or the darker green, about 4 knots more than the sort of darker blue. So puffs and lulls coming across the course, but hard to tack and take the advantage of each of those puffs and lulls, because you're losing about 7 to 8 knots of boat speed every time you tack. So you really have to tack on something big. So being a smooth course, you're pretty much boundary bouncing at the moment.
Let's go to chase zero. Pete, what are you seeing?
So boats now just attacking on starboard ley line, but 1 knot of increase of wind speed equates to 5 degrees of wind angle in terms of wind shift. That's how high performance these boats are.
5 left turn at the top. 1 more tack.
More pressure coming.
Downwind.
Just look at the backdrop. How good is this? That's how close you are to watching it from the beach. Barcelona beach was the main beach in Barcelona. Many other beaches going up, and they love the beaches. I was biking to work this morning, and they're on the beach playing volleyball at 7:30 in the morning. How good is that? As we see American Magic coming in to complete their penultimate leg on this first race of the day. Race number 5. And they take the right-hand mark as you see it on the television screen. Head down on the final leg. American Magic sailing it beautifully today in the opening race of the day.
25 seconds.
And they have really stretched out this lead.
He comes this way.
Yeah, they're sailing the boat well. There's no question about that. Both teams, in actual fact, you know, sailing the boat pretty cleanly in these conditions as expected. And great shots of Alinghi Red Bull Racing coming to the top there.
Alinghi Red Bull Racing coming into the top mark for the final time. That lead is certainly stretched out, made by American Magic, sailing their beautiful boat Patriot Day, 46 seconds. It's really pumped it up. But again, both these teams sailing well today. It's just, I suppose, comes down to that one thing about if you want to win the America's Cup, you've got to have the fastest boat.
Yeah, certainly boat speed helps, but also linking up the dot to dot, surely on the downwind there. You can see the puffs and lulls, and all the teams, as they're sailing downwind, will be, you know, looking forwards, sailing into the pressure on the downwind, and it's a big game of dot to dot at the end of the day.
I think this race will be a confidence builder for American Magic. I mean, they executed a great start. There wasn't really any doubt that they were going to win that start, and have just made clean, clinical decision-making ever since. They also look like they've got the edge. They have got a bit of extra pace, both upwind and downwind, and we see the distance growing and growing as this race goes on.
Fantastic shots of the foils there. Stainless steel, knife blades carving up the waters off Barcelona. It's absolutely fantastic shots there from the heli choppers up there. Don't get to see that view very often. That's pretty epic.
What are the loads on that bit of steel?
It's basically taking the full load of the yacht, about 7,000 kilograms or 7 tons of load going through a fairly small foil, so pretty impressive.
Do you like the efficiency of that foil? Do you like what you see on that foil?
Certainly got a nice package, American Magic, and I think all teams will be scoping out what each of their opponents is using and stand by for some changes over the next couple of weeks. It's going to be an exciting period.
How much can we expect to see? What level of changes and evolution will we see during the summer?
Well, as long as I don't see Stephen McIver and his speedos on the beach, I'll be very happy. But other than that, there'll be some nice sights for sure.
Just want to go and set off.
Wow.
Right down here when we're done.
That will not be an evolution that you will ever see in your lifetime.
I'm pleased to hear that, mate. Keep your board shorts on, at least.
American Magic will cross the line with a confident win in race 5 of the Louis Vuitton Preliminary Regatta here in Barcelona. They've done good. They'll be happy with that. We'll get some reaction on board shortly.
A little here this way.
That was sweet as a nut.
Really solid, lads. Yeah, boys.
Nice job.
As Shirley Robertson quite rightly said, confidence is one thing, even at this early stage of the regattas, that every team is looking for.
Yeah.
And considering, 2 days ago, they put that Patriot into the water, then pulled out of the race just to check it all over, and then came back yesterday and they picked up a win. They've got a perfect record so far now, American Magic, in this preliminary regatta. They are 2-0. Remember, the top 2 teams at the end of the weekend, they will race off in a single match race final. And American Magic are laying their cards on the table. Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 1 win, 1 loss so far in this preliminary regatta. But a clean race. What more can you ask for? But learn, learn, learn.
Nice push on the brake, huh?
So there is the result of race number 5, a 56-second win to American Magic against Alinghi Red Bull Racing. 2-0 the Americans, 1-1 Alinghi Red Bull Racing.
Well, with an impressive calmness, American Magic dominated the pre-start. I think Red Bull Racing tried to go for the push, but way too late, and American Magic really dominated that start. And by gate 1, with a clinical first beat, tack for tack all the way, making all the right decisions, American Magic led round the top line. And from there, they didn't really put a foot wrong, Glenn, did they? And the delta just kept on growing between these 2 yachts. Beautifully sailed by American Magic. Great maneuvers, good decision making.
Coming down to the finish
won
there.
In the end by quite a long way. A real confidence grower, I think, this race. Terry Hutchinson with a fist bump there. They look pretty chuffed.
Smiles all around on the chase boat. Probably smiles also on board American Magic. One of the helms, Paul Gorderson, joins us right now. Hey, Paul, that was a clean race, and that start was a ripper.
No, it was really good to get off the line in such good shape. The guys did a really good job getting us in position. Really nice launch, and then we did a good job of controlling the race from there. So really pleased with the performance that last race.
Goody, it's Glenn here. The boys behind you in the recumbent cycling positions, mate, they look like they're absolutely going hammers around those top marks and bottom marks. Mate, without them, you guys would be in all sorts of trouble.
No, they guys back in first class in the back there, laying down, enjoying themselves. But when they need to put the power in, they hammer it. You can hear the grunts coming from behind you. They do put some awesome power down to help us do what we need to do.
Thank you for your time, Paul. You're 2-0 unbeaten so far. We'll talk to you at the end of the day. Let's go aboard Alinghi Red Bull Racing. Arno, you've got to win the start, hey, when you've got a team like that you're up against.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we all know that you come off the start line leading. It's halfway done, and yeah, we didn't really manage to do that slingshot like yesterday, but then we try to fight all the way, but Mac and Magic kind of closed all the doors, so we just really focus on try to sail our boat as fast as possible, and then just wait for a mistake. But I think it was good training, and you cannot win all the races.
All right, appreciate the time, man. We'll see you tomorrow.
Thanks, thank you very much.
Just the one race today for Alinghi Red Bull Racing, 1-1 so far in this preliminary regatta.
Well, this is the key moment that went on throughout the race. Tack on tack, jibe on jibe. The race was a multiple of massive manoeuvres, each one critical in terms of holding on to the lead. An impressive work not just for the helm and trimmers, but for the cyclists.